I'm Cleary Von Lee, the Executive Director at the Global Oneness Project. We are living in a time of great uncertainty, but also of great possibility. COVID-19 has revealed deep chasms in our global society, especially in education. At this moment in time, we're forced to examine what is working and what isn't. But more importantly, we are challenged as global citizens, educators, and students to consider the deeper issues facing humanity. For the last 15 years, the Global Oneness Project has traveled the world to document our shared humanity through stories. Our award-winning films, photography, essays, and companion curricula aim to bring universal values into the lives of educators and students around the world. Our free library of stories and lessons examines social, cultural, and environmental issues. They document people experiencing climate change, migration, and indigenous language loss, among many other topics and themes. By meeting individuals and communities who are overcoming adversity, students are not only learning about the profound losses to culture and land, but also about the resilience of the human spirit. Let me share a short clip with you.
We live in a world with many ways of knowing, and with many different systems of knowledge.
We've been spending all these revolutions looking at the moon. Then as we come around, we look up and there's the earth. And everything we held dear, our families, our country, everything we held dear was back on that blue planet. How in the world could this little ball exist in this vast universe of nothing?
I want everyone to realize how tremendous, how beautiful it is to offer people a place to call home. I am one of the ones lucky enough to come back from the dead to tell their stories with the rest of the world.
A good story can open our minds and hearts. A good story allows us to question ourselves and the world around us. Stories remain powerful through time, across continents, with the potential to transcend cultural and societal boundaries. Stories are a tool to foster inquiry and empathy, simple yet essential skills that we will need to care for each other and our living world. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, we pivoted our work to address what we felt were two fundamental opportunities to create connection and build community, much needed during this time of crisis. First, we launched our Global Student Photography Contest series, inviting students to rethink their relationship to place and document their meaning of home during lockdown. What you're seeing are winning photographs from our first contest, Document Your Place on the Planet, inspired by our film Earthrise. Students' unique and powerful perspectives captured their place on the planet, their relationship to the living world, and what they'd like their home to be remembered for. We also launched a free community conversation webinar series called Stories for Solidarity. Each week, we hosted our storytellers, including filmmakers, photographers, writers, as well as thought leaders and visionaries.
You know, when you're 81 and someone asks for your last thoughts, you think, wait a minute, what? I didn't sign up for that.
Each webinar examined the deeper issues our stories reveal, from the impacts of globalization to the world's vulnerable populations to innovative solutions in response to deforestation.
We have to find new ways to cope, with those changes.
Our aim was to create meaningful conversations, providing inspiration, solace, and support. But what was revealed was the importance of just coming together, connecting around the power of story and the impacts of deepening our learning.
There is certainly a wonderful, wonderful openness to learning Indigenous histories and more about Indigenous territories, but also how we can shift the understanding and shift the narrative and actually tell those deeper versions of history and those more true versions of history.
Most of all, we experienced how powerful it was to share our vulnerability, and in that vulnerability was pain, but also great possibility.
In the time of COVID-19 and this coronavirus pandemic, now we are all united.
I'd like to share two quotes from these webinars that have stayed with me. The first is from my friend and renowned educator Ariel Berger about moral education. He said, "We have a right and a responsibility to question, to challenge, to question others, to question societal and power structures, and also to question ourselves." The second is from award-winning Cambodian-American filmmaker Kalyan Imam. It's so important that we all connect and that we all share our stories, our personal stories. This helps us to understand that we aren't alone. These simple yet profound statements inspire me to think how we can reclaim learning and reimagine education together. And to hope that in 20 years, we will look back at this time in history and know that we work together to bring about meaningful change in education and beyond.